I didn't mean to open her gallery. I swear on everything. I was just looking for the reservation email for her mother's anniversary dinner. She asked me to check her phone while she was in the shower, said it was in her inbox. But the notification caught my eye. A text preview from a number saved as Marcus Yoga, with a damn eggplant emoji next to it. I tapped it. Curiosity? Instinct? Fate? I don't know. But that one tap changed everything. There it was. A video. Just 14 seconds long. My hands were trembling before I even hit play. But when I did, she was lying in bed. My bed. Our bed. Naked, sweaty, sheets pushed down to her ankles. A guy behind the camera, shirtless, cocky voice, chewing gum, said, "Say it again for the camera." And she laughed. Laughed like a teenage groupie backstage. Tossed her hair, gave the lens a smirk, and said, "This alpha makes me scream with pleasure. Mine, just from disappointment." She giggled, and he laughed, and I stood there, in my living room, in the house I bought, with a bottle of wine on the table and a plan to surprise her with a weekend trip to Big Sur. I didn't delete the video. I saved it, backed it up to 3 cloud accounts. I knew what I was going to do the second I heard that smug chuckle. My wife, Madison, or Maddie, as she made everyone call her like she was some damn influencer, didn't just cheat. She humiliated me. She broke something in me I didn't even know could crack. I left her phone right where it was. Walked into the kitchen, opened the wine bottle, poured myself a glass, waited. 10 minutes later, she came down in a silk robe like she hadn't just committed war crimes upstairs. "Did you find the email, babe?" she asked, tying her robe slowly like it was some striptease. I looked her in the eye, just nodded. "Yeah, found more than that, actually." She blinked, smirked. "What do you mean?" I raised the glass. "To Marcus Yoga," I said calmly. "He's got better cardio than me, huh?" Her face changed instantly. Smug turned to pale. Confidence to panic. "Wait, what are you talking about?" I pulled out my phone, pressed play, let her hear her own words in surround sound. Watched her pupils shrink like she saw a ghost crawl out the speakers. She lunged for the phone. I stepped back. "Nah, this is mine now." She screamed. "You're invading my privacy. You're being crazy." I laughed in her face. "You're a liar. A manipulative, smug, two-faced backstabber who couldn't even be discreet enough to not record her betrayal in 4K. She stormed out of the house 10 minutes later. No apology, no guilt, just a slammed door and the scent of cheap body lotion and someone else's cologne in the air. And me? I just stood there, glass in hand, watching the fireplace flicker, listening to my heartbeat punch through my ribs. I didn't cry, not yet, but I knew I would. And I knew I would make her pay. Every damn cent. And it wouldn't be with fists or yelling or begging. It would be with evidence. The court made its decision in 1 minute. She lost her son, her money, her pride. And I walked away in peace. After the video, I started watching her more closely. Not like a husband watches his wife, but like a detective tracks a suspect. Every movement, every excuse, every late night at Tracy's place. It all started to look different. Madison used to be this vibrant woman with warmth in her eyes. But now, every time she walked past me, her smile looked rehearsed. Her affection, mechanical. We hadn't been intimate in weeks, and whenever I tried, she'd pull away with a, "Not tonight, babe. I'm tired." Or, "Let's talk about us this weekend, okay?" She was never tired for Marcus. You want to know what really kills you inside? It's not even the betrayal. It's the slow realization that it had been happening right in front of you for months, and you were too damn loyal to see it. She started dressing different too. Shorter skirts, tighter tops, push-up bras for errands. She'd spend 2 hours getting ready just to grab groceries, but come home with just a half-empty bag of overpriced fruit and her lipstick smudged. I asked her once, "Why do you wear perfume to Trader Joe's now?" She blinked. "What are you even saying?" "I'm saying you didn't used to do that. And now you spray that vanilla crap like you're heading to a photo shoot." She scoffed. "God, you sound insecure." "Nah, Maddie. I sound like a man who knows his queen turned into a damn parasite." One night, I followed her. She said she was going to a girls' night with Ashley. Told me not to wait up. So I waited 15 minutes, got in my car, and drove behind her like I'd seen in movies. I wasn't even sure what I expected. A bar? A restaurant? She pulled into a hotel. Not even a fancy one. Just one of those chain places with neon signs and weekly rates. I parked across the street, heart pounding so loud I swear I could hear it echo in the windshield. She stepped out of her car in a tight black dress, heels too high for a girl's night, and walked in like she knew the way, like she'd done it before. I sat there for over an hour, watching, thinking. I wasn't going to storm in there. That's what guys in movies do. I was done playing the fool. Instead, I drove home. And I waited. When she came back around 1 a.m., I pretended to be asleep on the couch. She tiptoed in, still wearing that dress. Her hair was a mess. She stood over me for a second, like she was checking if I was really asleep. Then she tiptoed upstairs. I waited 10 minutes, then followed. She was in the bathroom. Door cracked open. Singing. I walked past and saw it, a hickey. A fresh, dark, undeniable mark on her collarbone. She saw me in the mirror. Froze. We didn't say a word. Not yet. But her reflection told me everything I needed to know. This wasn't just a fling. This was war. And I was done losing. I didn't sleep that night. I just laid there next to her, wide awake, staring at the ceiling. She turned over in her sleep, mumbling something, probably dreaming about Marcus and his so-called alpha energy. I kept thinking, do I scream? Do I drag her out of bed and show her what she's done? Or do I stay quiet and make my move when it hurts her the most? By morning, I made my decision. She came down to the kitchen, wrapped in that same robe like nothing happened. Coffee in one hand, phone in the other. I was sitting at the counter, laptop open, scrolling through our joint bank account. Morning, she chirped. I didn't answer. She glanced at me. Everything okay? I looked up slowly. You have 10 seconds to come clean. No games. No lies. Just truth. Her whole body froze. What are you talking about? 10. Jason, you're scaring me. 9. Babe, please. 8. Stop it. You're being paranoid. 7. She slammed her coffee down. Okay. Jesus. What do you want me to say? 6. She exhaled sharply. Fine. Yes. I've been seeing someone. There it was. No more hiding. No more gaslighting. Who? I asked. You don't know him. Marcus. Her jaw twitched. How? You recorded it. She turned ghost white. You went through my phone? I laughed. You're worried about privacy? You've been getting your back blown out by some yoga bum in my bed, and you're mad that I found the video? She tried to flip the narrative, like they always do. Maybe if you had paid more attention to me. No, I stood up. Don't you dare. Don't you dare try to make this about me. I worked. I provided. I took care of you, defended you, trusted you. You were my everything. And you gave the most private parts of yourself to a stranger and bragged about it on camera. She backed away, arms crossed. It didn't mean anything. Then why did you say I disappoint you? Why did you laugh while saying he makes you scream? She went silent. Her lip quivered, just for a second. Then, she hardened. You were boring, Jason. Predictable. You stopped being exciting. Marcus gave me that thrill I needed. He made me feel wanted. That was the knife. And she twisted it. You should thank me, honestly, she said, stepping closer. Maybe now you'll finally grow a spine. I stared at her like I was seeing her for the first time. And maybe I was. This wasn't the woman I married. This wasn't even a woman. This was a mask, a performance. And it was over. I grabbed the folder from the drawer and dropped it on the counter. What's this? She asked. Divorce papers. Already signed on my end. You can't be serious. Oh, I'm dead serious. And guess what else? I've already filed for custody. I submitted the video as evidence. She lunged toward the folder. You wouldn't dare. I did. Yesterday. You don't just lose me, Madison. You lose your son. Your comfort. Your lifestyle. All of it. Gone. She stood there, silent, breathing heavily, her perfect world shattering one crack at a time. I walked past her without another word, grabbed my keys, and left. Not just the house. Not just the street. I left the version of me who tolerated her lies behind. And I never looked back. The thing no one tells you about betrayal is that even when you're the one walking away, it still hits you like a freight train. You think you'll feel power, relief, maybe even a little pride. Instead, I felt empty. I drove around for hours that morning after I left the house. No destination, just motion. The silence in the car was louder than anything. I kept replaying everything in my head. Her voice, that laugh, the way she said, mine, just from disappointment. It echoed in my skull like a cruel chant. I pulled over at a random overlook off the highway, sat on the hood of my car, and stared out at the fog rolling over the hills. And for the first time since I saw the video, I cried. Not the quiet kind, the guttural kind, the kind that racks your body and leaves your throat raw. I cried for everything. For the years I spent loving a woman who didn't deserve it, for the dreams I had of a future that now meant nothing, for my son, who'd have to grow up learning why mommy and daddy weren't under the same roof anymore. But mostly, I cried for myself, for the man I used to be, for the man I'd let her kill, piece by piece, with every lie, every fake smile, every girl's night. I wiped my face and promised myself something right there on that hill. This ends now. She doesn't get to take another ounce of me. By the time I got back into town, my phone had blown up. 20 missed calls. 10 voicemails. All from Madison. I didn't listen to a single one. Instead, I went to my friend Chris's place. He was the only one who knew something had been off even before I did. When I told him everything, the video, the hotel, the confrontation, he didn't say a word for a while. Just sat across from me, jaw clenched. Then he got up, went to the kitchen, and came back with a bottle of whiskey. To new beginnings, he said, pouring 2 glasses. To freedom, I replied. That night, I slept in his guest room. It was the first night in weeks where I wasn't lying next to a lie. The next morning, I checked my email. My lawyer had already responded. With the video submitted, there's a strong likelihood we'll get full custody. Be ready for court next week. I was. When the day came, Madison walked in dressed like she was auditioning for sympathy. Conservative blouse. No makeup. Eyes red like she'd been crying all night. I didn't flinch. The judge watched the video in silence. No one spoke. No one needed to. After the final frame, the judge looked up and said, "Custody awarded to the father." Immediate effect. Just like that. No drama. No speeches. Just justice. Madison didn't look at me. Not once. She stormed out of the courtroom like a tantruming child. I walked out calm. Not happy. Not yet. But calm. Sometimes peace feels like silence after a hurricane. And finally, it was quiet. Madison thought she'd bounce back. That's the thing with people like her. They believe they're untouchable, even when the ground is crumbling beneath their feet. She tried to post on social media like nothing had happened. Filtered selfies, throwback photos of us from years ago with captions like, "Life's twists only make you stronger, dizzy dot." She wanted sympathy, validation. Some naive follower to comment, "Stay strong, girl." But the truth? The truth was already leaking. Whispers turned to conversations. Conversations turned to screenshots. The video didn't stay in court. Someone, not me, maybe a paralegal, maybe fate, made sure it found its way online. It was edited, blurred, no faces. But the audio, oh, that audio, her laugh, that sentence. This alpha makes me scream with pleasure. Mine, just from disappointment. People knew. They connected the dots. And Madison's image, the proud mom, the yoga-loving entrepreneur, the woman who posted inspirational quotes while cheating behind closed doors, shattered. She called me in a panic 2 days later. "Jason, you have to do something. That video's everywhere. I'm being harassed." I was sitting on the back porch with my son, Tyler, building a Lego spaceship. I put the phone on speaker. I said, I'm being called a homewrecker. People are messaging my family. I lost 3 sponsorship deals this morning. Tyler glanced up. "Daddy, who's that?" I muted the phone. "Nobody important, buddy. Let's add the rockets next." I unmuted. "You made your bed, Madison. Lie in it. You're heartless." "No," I said calmly. "You just never expected consequences." She screamed and hung up. That was the last time she called. After that, her life unraveled fast. Marcus, the alpha, ghosted her once the video spread. No more sweaty hotel rooms. No more late-night ego boosts. He moved on to his next thrill. Probably another married woman dumb enough to risk everything for someone with a 6-pack and 0 morals. Madison's apartment lease got terminated. Something about violating community standards. She moved in with her sister, and from what I hear, that didn't last long either. Meanwhile, Tyler was thriving. We spent weekends hiking, baking, building forts in the living room. He laughed again. Real laughter. The kind I hadn't heard in months when we were all under the same roof, pretending to be a family. At night, when I'd tuck him in, he'd whisper things like, "I like it when it's just us, Dad." Or, "You don't yell like Mommy does." It broke me and healed me at the same time. One night, he asked, "Do you still love Mommy?" I paused. I love who I thought she was. But people change, buddy. And that's okay. We just have to protect our hearts when they do. He nodded like he understood more than a 6-year-old should. And maybe he did. Because he'd seen it, heard it, felt it. The downfall of someone who chose lies over loyalty. And I was rebuilding. One Lego brick at a time. A strange thing happens after the storm ends. You start noticing the wreckage left behind. Not all of it's visible. Some of it lives in small, quiet places. Like in the way I'd instinctively glance at the door every night at 11 p.m., expecting her to come home late with a lie on her lips. Or how my hand would still reach across the bed, only to meet cold sheets. Habits. Ghosts. Echoes of someone who didn't deserve the space they once occupied. Even when Madison was gone physically, she haunted everything. Emails from joint subscriptions. Photos on the fridge Tyler refused to let me take down. A playlist on Spotify titled Us Heart with Arrow that I'd accidentally hit shuffle on one afternoon and ended up punching pause so fast it hurt. But worst of all, the looks. The pitying glances from neighbors. The quiet nods from parents at Tyler's school who knew. It wasn't the shame that got to me. I wasn't the one who should feel it. It was the reminder that people now knew me through the lens of her. The guy who got humiliated by a woman who called another man an alpha while demeaning her husband on camera. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel rage. I felt it every time I had to pretend like I was okay. Like when I ran into Madison's old friend, Becca, at the grocery store. She gave me that half-sympathetic, half-curious smile. Hey, how are you holding up? I wanted to scream. Instead, I just nodded. I'm good. Clean air feels nice. She laughed awkwardly. Wow. Yeah, I heard. Well, I mean, you probably don't want to talk about it. I don't, I said plainly, and walked away, because the truth was, every conversation that mentioned Maddie brought her back into my world, and I was trying to erase her. But Tyler didn't make that easy. Kids don't forget. They don't understand nuance. One night, while watching cartoons, he turned to me and said, Will Mommy ever come back home? My stomach clenched. No, kiddo. She won't. Did she stop loving us? She made bad choices. Grown-up choices. Ones that hurt people. He looked down at his hands. Did I do something wrong? That right there. That broke me more than anything she'd done. I pulled him close. Hey, listen to me. None of this is your fault. Not a single part. Grown-ups sometimes break things they're supposed to protect. That's not on you. He nodded again, but I could see the confusion in his eyes. So I promised myself, no matter how much I hated Madison for what she did to me, I'd never let that hate spill onto Tyler. He'd never grow up thinking his mother was a monster, even if she acted like one. He'd grow up strong, loved, respected, even if it was just by me, especially if it was just by me. And slowly, the ghosts started to fade. One drawer cleaned, one photo replaced, one song deleted. Every action, no matter how small, felt like taking a brick off my chest. And even though I hadn't forgiven her, not even close, I was no longer drowning in her memory. I was learning how to breathe again. 3 months of silence. That's how long it took before Madison slithered her way back into our lives. I should have known she wouldn't stay gone. People like her don't disappear. They just wait for the spotlight to dim so they can sneak back on stage. It started with a knock. Saturday morning. Tyler was watching cartoons. I was making pancakes. And then, boom, boom, boom. A knock on the door like it owed her something. I opened it, and there she was. Sunglasses too big, hair pulled back, lips pursed like a scolded celebrity trying to look humble. Jason, can we talk? I didn't answer. Just stared. I miss my son, she said. I've changed. I'm getting help. Therapy. I'm not that person anymore. Oh, I've heard that one before. Right between he's just a friend, and it meant nothing. I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. She looked down. I know I hurt you. I know I ruined everything. But Tyler, he's still my son. He needs his mother. My jaw clenched. You mean now that your name's clearing up online and you've run out of followers to cry to? Her eyes flashed. For a second, I saw the real Madison peek through. The one who mocked me in bed while riding someone else. I'm serious, Jason. You can't keep him from me forever. The court gave you custody, not ownership. I stepped closer. You said it yourself, I disappoint you. Remember that. She flinched. Tyler's not a prop for your redemption arc, I continued. He's a human being. And the last time he saw you, you weren't even sober. Her lip curled. That's a low blow. No. A low blow is cheating on your husband in his own house and recording it like a highlight reel. She folded her arms. You're angry. I get it. But I'm still his mother. You were. That hit her. Not because it wasn't true, but because she knew it was. I turned to go back inside. I'll file for visitation, she snapped. You can't stop that. I stopped and looked over my shoulder. Do what you want. But every time you push, I'll push harder. And the next courtroom we step into, I'll bring more than just one video. You know I have it. Her face went pale. She backed off. I just want to see him, she whispered. I didn't respond. Back inside, Tyler looked up from the couch. Who was it? No one important, buddy. But I couldn't shake the feeling. She'd be back. They always come back when they lose control. When their throne burns, and they've got no kingdom left to rule. I called my lawyer the next day. Told him everything. We strengthened the custody terms. Added clauses. Boundaries. She could apply for supervised visitation in a monitored facility. That was it. That was the compromise. I wasn't doing it for her. I was doing it for Tyler. If she ever wanted to be a mother again, she'd have to earn it. Not with words. Not with crocodile tears. But with action. And until that day, the door stayed shut. The past stayed out. And the future? It finally felt like mine. That it's strange how peace doesn't arrive with fanfare. It sneaks in quietly. One day you wake up and realize you haven't thought about her in a week. Her voice doesn't echo in your head anymore. Her name doesn't twist your stomach. The nightmares stop. The silence no longer feels like punishment. It becomes a gift. It had been 6 months since I found the video. 6 months since Madison torched the life we built together with one selfish, recorded betrayal. And now, my life was finally mine again. I had a routine. Mornings with Tyler were sacred. I'd wake him up, we'd make breakfast together. Sometimes I'd let him crack the eggs just to watch him feel like a mini chef. He'd smile, proud and clumsy, and I'd remind myself, this is what matters. We built new traditions. Friday movie nights. Saturday park visits. Sunday pancakes shaped like dinosaurs. Always burn on one side, but he loved them anyway. My house wasn't spotless anymore. Toys were everywhere, drawings taped to the fridge, superhero stickers on the staircase. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. And that meant everything. Madison. She did file for visitation, just like she said. But the judge reviewed the footage again, the psychologist's notes, the reports from the investigator I hired, and handed her a decision wrapped in legal steel. Supervised visits. Once a month. 1 hour. In a neutral center. She showed up to the first one in tears. Brought a teddy bear and 3 excuses. Tyler barely spoke to her. The second visit, she didn't show up at all. By the third, she canceled. And that was it. It hit her. She lost. Not just custody. Not just her status. She lost the right to call herself mom and be believed by the one person who mattered. And the beautiful part? I didn't have to raise my voice. I didn't have to destroy her. She did it all by herself. One night, I sat on the porch with a drink in hand. Not whiskey, just a cold iced tea. Tyler was asleep, house quiet, a warm summer breeze passing through like a whisper. And I thought about everything. The betrayal, the pain, the courtroom, the judgment, the silence after. And then I thought about who I became through it. Stronger, sharper, wiser, not bitter, just awake. People always say betrayal changes you. They're right, but they leave out the best part. It sets you free. If I could talk to the version of me who first saw that video, I'd tell him, it's going to hurt more than you think, but you'll survive. And not just survive, you'll rebuild. Brick by F***ing brick. And one day, she won't be your wound anymore. She'll be your warning. To any man going through what I went through, listen to me. Don't chase closure. Don't wait for apologies. Take your evidence. Take your pride. Take your kid. And leave. Let her rot in her own lies. And you? Build something honest. Start with yourself.